The woman wore a seductive eye mask, wandering through streets full of drifters. The men stared at her greedily, but she stayed graceful and alluring, until she was drawn to a man with long hair. His features were sharp, and his gaze was fierce, like a wild beast untamed. He slowly walked toward her. The woman gathered her blue robe at her chest, and sent him an inviting look. Soon they got intimate under the shadow of a stone wall, and parted ways on the morning streets. But the man had no idea that this mysterious woman was none other than Queen Margot herself. The story takes place in 15th century France. Queen Catherine was a devout Catholic, but Protestantism was on the rise. To ease the tension between the two faiths, Queen Catherine married her daughter Princess Margot to the Protestant leader Henry. The political marriage caught the world's attention. Notre Dame was packed with believers coming to witness the event. Everyone saw it as a symbol of peace. But Margot wore a cold, indifferent face. Even when the archbishop asked if she was willing to marry, she couldn't be bothered to respond. As the silence grew awkward, King Charles the First furiously pushed Margot's head down, forcing her to complete the wedding in humiliation. As a political pawn, Margot openly said she married for peace, so she owed no fidelity to her husband. The queen knew her daughter's temperament well, and had already arranged a beautiful maid to seduce Henry and balance things out. Meanwhile, Margot's brothers were gossiping among themselves, wondering who would share the wedding bed with their sister that night. Finally, when the exhausting banquet was over, Margot eagerly sat in the middle of the dance floor, scanning the crowd for a suitable new lover. Many men rushed toward her, even fighting over her. Margot simply smiled at the chaos, for she had already chosen her first love, the priest. At the same time, the maid approached Henry with a flirtatious smile, but being in Catholic territory, Henry wasn't in the mood for pleasure. As the leader of the Protestants, he was constantly at risk of assassination. He was filled with anxiety, and needed to find protection fast, and his wife Margot was the only one powerful enough to help him. At that moment, Margot had just brought the priest into her chamber. When Henry suddenly barged in, she hurriedly hid her lover inside a wardrobe, and before she could even catch her breath, Henry proposed an alliance. In the eyes of the royal family, Margot was nothing more than a disposable pawn. Only if he became king of France could Margot's safety be ensured. But Margot wasn't in the mood for political talk right now, because she feared the priest in the wardrobe might overhear and expose everything. But Henry didn't pick up on her hints, insisting firmly on forming an alliance.
Acte secret, ne sois pas mon ennemi, mais pour...
The priest in the wardrobe burned with fury. As a devout Catholic, he couldn't tolerate the queen uniting with a Protestant. To punish Margot, he refused to spend the night with her. So after Henry left, the priest stormed out as well. Margot was humiliated and heartbroken. Out of spite, she put on her wickedly charming mask, and wandered through the Paris streets with her best friend. She was hunting for her next prey, determined to stage a scandalous elopement, the most elegant rebellion against power.